Hi guys, it's Laleh Masjedi. Tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing Rabbi Yonatan Halevy. Let me just add him on really quickly. Let's see. Yonatan. There we go. Invite. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Okay. Rabbi Halevy. Rabbi, oh, there you are. I'm going to add you really quickly. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I have 3 kids I have to put to sleep, and even with my husband, it was extremely difficult, but they're asleep now. So we're waiting for Rabbi Yonatan Halevy. So I wanted to let you guys know how I heard or how I found or how I discovered Rabbi Halevy. I was getting ready for Pesach, and I was extremely stressed out. And, oh, Rabbi Halevy, did you get my request? Oh, there you are. Okay, I'm going to add you. Approve. Rabbi?
I got you at the stressed out part, so now I'm listening.
Oh, okay, good, good. Okay, hi, Rabbi. Thank you so much. Sorry that I'm late. My kids wouldn't go to sleep, but now they're asleep, thank God.
Perfect.
Okay, so I was just telling everyone how I discovered you. So basically, I was getting ready for Passover, and in the What's for Dinner group, there was like a discussion about Passover. I think there was like a little drama in there, and then one of my friends was like, there's a Sephardic rabbi, and he knows all the halachot, and he can give you the real scoop without all the drama. So I was like, oh yes, I joined the group, and so did like 200 of the people in our group. And then it really resonated what you were saying, Rabbi. Like coffee is kosher for Passover. It doesn't need to say, as long as there's no wheat in it or anything like that. So it really rang a bell to me, especially because I was so stressed out cleaning and buying all the food. And so anyway, I just started watching some of your videos, Rabbi, and I loved your viewpoint on Judaism, and it really resonated with me, maybe because I'm Sephardic and I haven't really been taught by many Sephardic Jews. So anyway, can you tell everybody about yourself a little, Rabbi? Like, where are you from? What's your story?
First off, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate that.
Oh, of course.
Where I'm from, what is my story? It's not such a long story, but I was born and raised here in San Diego, California, just around the corner from where my synagogue is today. Mm-hmm. I was raised by 2 religious Jewish Sephardic parents. Both my grandparents were rabbis, one from Yemen and one from Morocco. I left San Diego after studying my whole life in regular Ashkenazi day school to Baltimore, where I studied at the Ner Israel Rabbinical College, the yeshiva over there. Mm-hmm. At a certain point in my yeshiva education, I started to feel like, though the Judaism I was being taught was beautiful and wonderful and really deep and sincere, it wasn't the same Judaism that I got at home. It didn't remind me of my parents or grandparents, and I started a journey to discover what was that, and ultimately became the journey towards the Sephardic Torah, which I continued by going on to Israel and joining the Shaar Sephardic Center, the Midrash Sephardi, where I met my rabbi and teacher, Rabbi Yaakov Peretz, who later in turn sent me back to California to lead a community which I lead today. And thank God that's what made me and who I am, is Rabbi Peretz and the yeshiva we studied in.
Okay, amazing. So basically, just for the people who are not very familiar with, Judaism, we have a lot of very secular people in this group, and we have a lot of ultra-Orthodox people in this group. We have a wide variety, which is beautiful. And so for the people who are a little unfamiliar, so basically there's like a Torah, right? Hashem wrote the Torah, Hashem gave us the Torah, and so we all, Ashkenazi and Sephardi, we all believe in the same Torah, right?
There's one God, there's one Torah, we're the same religion, there's nothing different about that.
Okay, so what is what would you say is like the main difference between being Sephardi and being Ashkenaz?
I don't know that I can tell you the main difference, but what I can tell you is that unlike what most people are taught to believe, myself included, when I was younger, Sephardic Judaism is not just the kind of food that we eat or the kind of prayer books which we have or the last names we use, but Sephardic Judaism is actually a philosophy. It's a completely different approach to Judaism than that which is taught today in most institutions around the globe. It's not better. It's not worse. It's different. And I've spent the bulk of my rabbinic career trying to discover that and get to the point. Let me give you an example.
Yes.
There's a word in Farsi called taruf. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it properly.
Taruf, yes, taruf.
Yeah, that's good. I learned it because every Middle Eastern culture, every Sephardic community has this built into its DNA. But nobody has a word for it except for the Persian culture.
Wait, Rabbi, anybody knows what taruf is? If you're like a taruf family, give me a like, a thumbs up, or a heart, or a wow face. If you don't know what it is, give me a sad face. I want to know who we're dealing with here, Rabbi.
All right. So.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's imagine that we were just to have a baby here in San Diego, and my wife had just given birth. The house is flying. The kids are sleeping all over the place. And my mother-in-law, who's Ashkenazi, by the way, my wife comes from a Hasidic family, as Ashkenazi as you can get. Like, there's no more than that. They're from Borough Park. They made Aliyah to Israel to Mea Sha'arim. My father-in-law wears a shtreimel. He's a rabbi. And imagine we're here, and my mother-in-law wants to fly in, and she wants to be with us to help us with the kids. If I would call her up and say, listen, Ma, there's no room for you here. I mean, the kids' room is packed. The rest of the house is flying. Let me book you into a 5-star hotel. I'll get a driver. He'll come pick you up in the morning, bring you to my house, but you'll sleep in your own place. She would thank me to the high heavens. She would say, thank you for the privacy, for the space, for the luxury. If I would call my mother and say, Mom, come, but I don't have room for you in my house. Let me put you in a 5-star hotel. She would lose me at there's no room for you in my house, and she just wouldn't come.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You don't even have room on the floor, on the couch? I'm your mother. I raised you. Two different cultures. And no one is right or wrong, simply different. And when it comes to our Torah, when it comes to our teachings, when it comes to our philosophy, to our attitudes, to society, to people, to communities, we come from two very different places.
Yeah.
And as I keep saying, one is not wrong or right, but ours is different. Yeah. And when you try to take someone from this culture and shove him into one that's not his, you'll find a lot of struggle, anxiety, sadness. It's not healthy.
Totally. I knew that was the reason I don't fit into this Jewish religion so well, right, Rabbi?
You got to try Sephardic.
That's exactly the reason. It's not because I'm crazy. Okay.
That I can't tell you.
Okay, so yes. So like what okay, got you. So it's not only the food we eat, it's not only the it's like the whole culture. And I totally understand that. I mean, my friends and I, most of us were mostly Sephardic Persian Jews, but we all are Baal Tshuvas, and we went to like Neve Yerushalayim, which is a seminary, which is an Ashkenaz seminary. You know, it's an amazing seminary, but like I guess the way we were taught was different, and you know there was something a little different. You know, so I always felt like the rabbis that I had, although they were absolutely amazing, there was something kind of missing there. Like they didn't get it. Like I tell them something about my family or about my in-laws, and they'll be like, "Oh, just tell them no," and I'm like, "It doesn't really work that way." But like, yeah, there was like it's like two different. You can't really. They don't get it.
That's actually a great example of what is different. Mm-hmm. If you look at the Sephardic community, and this is a generalization, I'm sure there are exceptions to this rule, but there are no Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, Modern Orthodox, Ultra-Orthodox Sephardic denominations. Mm-hmm. Sephardim were always one group of Jews that varied in observance like any other human being. That's a human condition. Mm-hmm. The difference between Sephardim and Ashkenazim in that regard is that the Sephardic rabbi never chose to walk down the road of saying, I only cater to Orthodox people. Mm-hmm. I only cater to Reform people. Mm-hmm. I only cater to ultra-Orthodox people. The Sephardic rabbi said, we're one community, and we're all related to each other, and we're all family, and we're all friends. And my job as the rabbi is to use the brilliance of Hashem's Torah and halachic innovation and to keep everybody together as part of one community. When I break away and I only have to deal with people who are like me, that's a really easy job.
Yes.
And what it has done, by the way, to the Jewish community, it has alienated millions of people from observance. Not thousands, millions of Jews today don't keep Shabbat and don't keep kasher and don't want to see a rabbi or a synagogue, and not because they don't want Hashem, not because they don't care about their Judaism, because they feel alienated, they feel ostracized, they feel that this community doesn't care about them. And that's what we're here to make a difference about. To let everyone know that we're reclaiming the Sephardic model of there's only one kind of Jew, and that's together.
Wow. I love that. I love that so much because I don't know if you guys know, I was when I was younger, I'm Baal Tshuva, so I didn't become religious Orthodox till I was 23. But I grew up in, like, I went to a Jewish day school, and like I felt very alienated, and I felt like judged. I felt misunderstood. I guess you could say I felt misunderstood. And so like what you're saying is like for a rabbi to come and bring us all together, and even if I'm less religious than you, I don't cover my hair, whatever, you know, I'm still part of your community, and I don't feel alienated, you know?
And it's not just a rabbi, it's everybody. For the most classic example I could think of, you know, when I go to Israel and I eat at my aunt and uncle's house, my aunt, she grew up, she's a rabbi's daughter. She doesn't keep Shabbat and kosher the same way I would keep Shabbat and kosher.
Right.
But when I go to her house, I always eat something. I always drink something. I stay with her. We do Friday nights together. We go to each other's family parties and events. It would be unthinkable of me to say, I'm going to come to my aunt's house, but I can't eat anything here.
Yeah.
I can't drink anything here.
Oh my
Because just like I know that my aunt is my family and that I need to show her that respect of you know, she's a family member, and tea can't be not kosher, so of course I can have it in her house. She also knows not to put me in a situation of something that I can't eat. And I think the word here is trust.
Yeah.
I trust my aunt that if she doesn't keep what some might call galat kosher, so she won't give me steak to eat.
Right.
But a bowl of rice, tadik, what could be wrong with that?
Right.
What possibly could happen that I can't show respect to my mother, to my father, to my aunt, to my uncle, to my brother, to my sister? We're different, but we're the same family.
Yeah.
And the moment we separate from each other at that base level, then we lose the right to speak about Jewish unity and togetherness and being children of Hashem, because we don't treat each other that way.
Yes, I love that, because I remember when I first became Orthodox, like, it was kind of weird for me. I'm like, wait, should I eat at my uncle's house? Should I eat at my aunt's house? Like, this is kind of weird. What about my mom's house, you know? Of course, their meat is kosher, but, like, I don't know what else is going on. But, like, yeah, I needed somebody to guide me and be like, no, like, you need to respect your mom and dad or your aunts and uncles, and you can eat. Like, you know, you don't have to be, like, eat on a paper plate or do these, you know, things that make both of us crazy. And so I love that. And, yeah, I think Persians more than anyone will get most offended if you don't drink their chai and have their tadig. It's like heartbreaking for them.
Moroccans are quite easy to offend also. I'll just let you know.
What?
Moroccans are quite easy to offend also.
Really?
Just let you know.
Okay, good.
But, and I think here is an important note, because right now somebody can walk away from here thinking we can eat whatever we want and drink whatever we want. But that's precisely why, even though kosher is not my passion, it's not my love, but the reason we speak so much about kosher is because the only way to educate a community and to know what I can eat and what I can't eat and what we can be together about is if we learn the halachot, we learn the relevant laws, we learn the relevant philosophy behind it. And that's really our goal, is not to make kosher easier, it's not to make something harder, it's simply to educate Jews so they have the knowledge and the ability to stay together.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rabbi. How can we, I've been watching some of your videos since I fell in love with your approach. I've been watching a few of your videos. So where can people watch your videos to get like more information and learn a little bit more if they're interested? For sure. So first I'm going to reiterate again, it's not my approach, it's the approach of all of the giants of Sephardi from the beginning of time until today. I'm just very lucky to have sat at the feet of one of the greatest and to be able to give that over in English. We have a YouTube channel which has over 620 YouTube videos. Wow. You just put in Rabbi Yonatan Halevy into YouTube. The same for Facebook. We have a very active Facebook page that I put out upcoming events. Actually, this Sunday, I'm going to be in Los Angeles in April 15th at 8 p.m. in the Baba Sali congregation in Fairfax. Perfect. My dear friend, Rabbi Meir Sultan will be hosting me. I would love to meet whoever's watching this video personally, to say hello, to get to know them, to get to know my wife. This group that studies together, we meet quite frequently in Los Angeles, and I really look forward to meet everybody personally. Yay, I'm so excited. Rabbi, can I steal you from San Diego and you come to LA and be our rabbi? You're not the first one to try. What I always say is come to my community in San Diego and you'll see why I'm not leaving. But God willing, you never know where the world will take us. But I am in Los Angeles 2, 3, 4 times a month. I have a Beit Din in Los Angeles along with Rabbi Moshe Ben Zaken of the West Coast Star Center, Rabbi Meir Sultan. So I'm there quite enough that you don't have to steal me for us to be able to learn together. Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, Rabbi, for your time. All the best. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Of course. Okay. Have a good night. Shalom, shalom. You too. See you next Sunday. Of course. Bye.